Fantasy Football Fallout Tight End Edition. We're talking about what happened in Week 2. How does it impact Week 3? We're going to be giving you our waiver wire picks. If that's all you care about, just click the timestamp below. It'll take you right there. But, before we get rolling here, please, everybody, like, comment, subscribe. That always helps. You can follow me on Twitter. We do lives. We do a ton of content on YouTube, youtube.com/theunderdog, as everybody knows. Subscribe to the network and follow me on Twitter at TFS_Sean. You can find the link below. But like I like to do, I like to start each of these Fantasy Football Fallout segment with who ESPN projected to score in the top 10, who did score in the top 10. I hand out my awards, the Nut Kick Player of the Week for me. Somebody got me real good. I think he got a lot of, probably about 10% of you. Here's a little hint for everybody. 10% of you probably got kicked in the nuts with this guy, unless you're one of those lucky 10%. Actually, I have 2 of those awards to give out this week, and then I have 2 I'm Watching You awards actually this week as well. So there's a little bonus to the tight end crew. But let's get in to the projected top 10. ESPN's projected top 10 tight ends coming into this week: Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Zach Ertz, Hunter Henry, Jared Cook, Chris Herndon, Evan Ingram, Dallas Goedert, Tyler Higbee. I got to be honest with you, that is the most vanilla top 10 I have ever seen. The only maybe eyebrow raiser there would have been Chris Herndon. He did not do wonders this week for people that had him in the lineup. Now, who actually scored in the top 10? Mike Gesicki had a monster game. You get Tyler Higbee. The ones that can see the graphics right now, the ones in white, are the ones ESPN got correct. So Tyler Higbee hit that, or ESPN hit Tyler Higbee. Then you got Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce, obviously also right. Jordan Reed, I think that was a slam dunk with George Kittle out. If you follow me on Twitter, I was saying, hey, man, you got to pick this guy up. It's going to be vintage Jordan Reed, and that's exactly what we got. Dalton Schultz, Mo Alley Cox, Hayden Hurst, Noah Fant, and Hunter Henry. Now let's give away our first award of the week, our first Nut Kick Player of the Week. I should say co-player of the week at this point because I'm giving 2 of these away. The first one's Mike Gesicki. Now, I didn't actually get bit, but when I saw his game, I was like, how many people really started him? ESPN, according to them, said he was in about 10% of the leagues he was starting this week, probably because of the Devontae Parker fallout, and Parker ended up playing, by the way. Gesicki had himself a game. Got to be on your radar at this point. Second game in this new offensive system. When these players start to pop and they get these kinds of targets and these kind of yardage, find the end zone, all that stuff, you got to pay attention. The second player, the second Nut Kick Player of the Week for me, and this one kind of breaks my heart a little bit because I was high on him coming into the season, but at this point I have to drop him. Rob Gronkowski. Look, coming off the chemistry issues against the New Orleans Saints, I thought, okay, if any week was the week for Gronkowski to pop, it would be this week when Brady needs a trusted person to throw to. This week when he's playing Carolina's defense, this is the week where Gronkowski's got to get like 7 or 8 targets to prove to me he's going to be a viable tight end for the rest of the season. Not only that, Chris Godwin is out. I mean, everything was stacked in favor of him getting targets. He got 1 target, complete non-factor. I'm selling all the stock, and I'm basically selling it for a penny. I mean, it's bad. Gronkowski, he'll be maybe a situational factor. He may be more of a daily fantasy guy, but you just can't count on him. I've watched now 2 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers games. Like I always tell people, I watched every single game, but this is one of the games today I've watched live, so I just not liking what I'm seeing from him. But let me get to some more positive news. The I'm Watching You award. The first one goes to Mo Alley Cox, who, with Doyle out, he got more opportunity. By the way, that happened 2 or 3 years ago with Eric Ebron. That season that Ebron went nuts for the Indianapolis Colts. Jack Doyle, I thought, was going to be the guy. He gets hurt early in the season. And then Ebron runs away with that job. Alley Cox looked physically imposing. He looked athletic, made some big plays, could have gotten in the end zone. Maybe he did, actually. I'm tired. It's really late. Maybe he did. But help me out there, live chat folks. But bottom line is he looked really good, so he should be on your radar. Another guy I'm paying attention to at this point, Akins from Houston. Look, I'm not saying get him, but this is the second week in a row he's put up pretty decent yardage numbers on a team that now has lost Will Fuller and from last season DeAndre Hopkins. Should be on your radar, everybody. So let me bring you now to the tight end, best waiver wire tight ends. Now, those guys should be on your radar. For me, I believe number 1 on my list at this point in terms of the likely to be there guys would be Jonnu Smith. He and Ryan Tannehill are playing quite well, and that red zone offense is great, and I think the play calling from Arthur Smith is great. Logan Thomas at number 2 for me. He got, I think, the most target. Maybe McLaurin out-targeted him this week, but he had another 9 targets. He'll be a factor all year. He looks very good. Arizona kept him out of the offense, so you might be able to still get him. He's available in about 90% of the leagues as of the time of this recording. Mike Gesicki, who I said before, you got to pay attention. He could be a special tight end, or maybe it was a fluke. But either way, if you have enough roster space and you need a tight end, you should make that bet. You got Greg Olsen on this list. I was surprised he only got one target today, so he's kind of down on this list. And then I would say Ali Cox or Doyle from Indianapolis. This tight end position, Phillip Rivers likes to throw to his tight ends. Frank Reich likes to call plays for his tight ends, so I'm still a believer on Indianapolis tight end. But Ali Cox, he looked pretty good to me today. He could be that guy. So let me get to, for our live stream, let me see if we have any more. I got one comment. Derek Carr going to have 346 yards. That's quite the specific prediction. 340. How many touchdowns do you think he'll get? You let me know. After tight end section, in my 12-team league, Treehopper says, I have Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater. Nut kick award for me goes to Brady. Actually, when I was looking, I did the quarterback section. I picked Ryan Fitzpatrick just because in betting, he hurt me with that late cover. But Brady was my guy because he was projected at number 3, and he ended up with pretty low points. But his receivers need to do a better job. LaShawn McCoy dropped a sure touchdown pass. I think there was another sure touchdown pass that was dropped later in the game. The receivers need to step up. I do think Brady will be fine, but yeah, it was kind of a gut punch, right? For Brady, if you're talking about quarterback, who should I target for a trade? You know what? Maybe check back and check out too. There should be an email address in this live stream below where you can access free rankings, because I do put projections out for my reading list, and they're completely free. So just email me, and I'll get you there, because I think the week 3 stuff is going to go out on Tuesday morning. But, I like guys off the waivers. I like Tannehill off the waivers. I like Goff off the waivers. I like Minshew off of waivers if he's available. So, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with any of those options, and I think I'm actually higher on them at this point than I am on Brady. But, Brady does still have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Don't overreact, I don't think, to these first 2 weeks. Last week he looked rusty. This week he looked sharp, and to me it was the receivers that were failing him. So, give it another week or two, and he could be in that top 10. Just keep in mind the receivers, they're giant and they're awesome. So they're pretty good there. Did you see the Dallas versus Atlanta game? I did see it. I saw it. This is one of the 3 that I had going early in the game. Dallas basically coughing up the ball 3 times in the first quarter. Atlanta gets a giant lead, and then Dallas at the end of the game. What really struck me with that is the end of the game. Atlanta, they were avoiding the football like it was COVID or something. They're just sitting there watching it spin slowly. You're allowed to hop on it. When you're the recovering team, you're allowed to hop on it. It was just kind of spinning slowly, and they're just staying away from it like it was a punt. Like they didn't want the ball to be live. And I know that is the scenario, but, Dallas was running full steam just waiting for that thing to cross the 10-yard line. That was awful. Awful execution. Now, here's the thing, is Atlanta, the rails are coming off, kind of. They're going to fire their coaching staff. I think that's definitely going to happen. I don't know about mid-season, but, they're not going to be here next year. I was surprised that he kept his job thanks to that late finish that they had last year. I was surprised that he kept his job. But bottom line is Atlanta's going to have a new coach next year. But their offense is good enough to still win you 6 games. And they could still go on a run at the end of the season. I just think that the coaching, even if they go on a run at the back half of the year, I think it's over for them. But Atlanta's not a bad team. Their defense is rough, but hey, Tampa's defense was rough last year. Now they look fantastic. So they're not that far off. They have skills, but my gosh, I cannot believe that they let Dallas come back. That was wild. Anyway, I'm going to close out the tight end segment. Thanks to everybody for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe below, and check back weekly. Check back the other positions because I got quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and defense and special teams as well.